I have a presentation about color wheels, and I did most of my color research for this on a website called handprint.com. McAvoy, who's also a watercolorist like our John, he explains color theory and pigment mixing in way more detail than I can understand it. The presentation is really just my take on his artist's color wheel, which is this here. And I'm not going to go into all the very important considerations of mixing paints and pigments because that was the point of this chart. However, I was just using this chart to look for some split primaries to try to tweak my palette a little bit. And I've been using it a while, and then one day I just happened to notice that right up here it says mixing complement hues. First time I noticed it. So I thought, oh, okay. And I started looking and I'm reading it and going, wait a minute, green and magenta? That's different. So then I started to really read the different pages about it, and it was really eye-opening to me, even though I've been doing this for how many years, to think that the color wheel that we're so used to isn't really right. So McAvoy has done extensive research into this, and some of the things that he showed on his website are these modern research-based mixing color wheels, I guess they're called. All the way from the very beginning, this is Newton's very first geometric representation of color perception. And then through the centuries, how it's changed and different, like the Swedish one up here was based on, they actually, like, I don't know how many people, but lots of people, they just asked them what they, when they looked at something, what they thought were opposites. And then the C-Lab and C-Cam, these are the ones where they really did a lot of research into it. This color wheel is based on the C-Cam, yeah, there it is, the C-Cam version of that. So for this presentation though, what I'm showing you is how my thinking went so that I could get my head around the changes and how to help myself think about it when I was mixing paints and looking at things. So what we're going to start with is the traditional color wheel we all know and love. And then how this has changed. So we know that the three primaries are yellow, blue, and red. But in this new version, the modern day take on it, what happens is the warm side of the spectrum squishes together. So the red moves up, everything moves up. And so, and the red orange kind of stretches out at the same time, or however you want to look at it. This becomes kind of central to the whole idea. And then on the cool side, the blue-green section spreads out really far. So what happens is that you get a lot of red oranges and blue greens that become really good at color mixing for decent grays. And then when this happens, of course, the rest of the purples and magentas kind of swing over. And now you have, instead of red and green being opposite, you have magenta and green. You have the cyan and red orange. And so you'll also notice that up here, the yellow is squished up a bit and the yellow orange and the yellow greens kind of invading. That's how I'm remembering what McAvoy says about don't try to mix grays with plain old yellow, like the middle of the road plain, I don't know, azo, cad yellow light, I guess, because you get really bad grays. He calls them cadaverous. Anyway, basically the the warms scrunch up and the cools spread out. Then I can oh, okay, so orange, it's not orange and blue, it's orange and cyan more. So when you're, so I should try to choose maybe manganese blue with something instead of ultramarine blue, or just that kind of choice. Like I found out that Viridian and Quin Magenta actually make a really nice cool gray. I would never have thought to mix them.